Tonight on CTV News at 6. They managed to get out in time.
At this point in time, the cause and origin of the fire is undetermined.
A home in downtown Sudbury is gutted by fire. With the Air Canada strike looming,
by now having to pay one couple group $3,400.
we check out how Northerners are feeling about the impending work stoppage. And a longtime NDP MPP of Sudbury East has died. Many are remembering Elie Martell.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. So glad you could join us on this Friday. A big fire in downtown Sudbury last night. Multiple fire crews were called to a blaze at a triplex on Lloyd Street.
And smoke and in flames. I really hope there's nobody in that house. Oh my Lord.
Firefighters from 5 surrounding stations responded to a home fully engulfed in flames. All occupants made it out safely, but 3 cats died in the fire. Officials say the blaze is not considered suspicious, and the fire is believed to have started on the porch and then spread through a nearby window.
Crews worked on scene until approximately 3 o'clock in the morning in order to extinguish the fire and ensure that all of the fire was fully extinguished. At this point in time, the cause and origin of the fire is undetermined, and the estimated damage of the fire is pegged at about $250,000 at this time.
One resident in the building is being supported by the Red Cross. Mellon adds it's important to have working smoke alarms and have an escape plan in case of a fire. Another suspect has been caught in the stabbing of 2 people in downtown Sudbury earlier this week. Police say they arrested and charged a 16-year-old last night. On Wednesday, they arrested a 26-year-old man, and a 17-year-old was picked up shortly after the stabbings, August 11th. Police say the victims knew their attackers. The 3 suspects have all been charged with 2 counts of attempted murder and weapons offenses. One suspect is still believed to be on the run. A large group stopped traffic in Serpent River First Nation west of Sudbury yesterday. It was an event planned by First Nation elders. They are against a provincial plan to spray a herbicide in the north. CTV's Angela Gemmell has more.
This large circle of supporters stopped traffic for about 10 minutes along the busy Trans-Canada Highway. They don't want glyphosate sprayed over managed forests.
It's doing a lot of damage to not only to the trees, but to every living thing on this planet.
Called Highway Action, the event was organized by the Traditional Ecological Knowledge, or TEK, elders. They say only a few weeks' notice was given that over the next month, the Ministry of Natural Resources would be conducting aerial spray of glyphosate over Crown land near Elliott Lake, Blind River, Espanola, and other forest management areas in the north. Along with violating treaty rights, supporters say the chemical disrupts ecosystems, harms biodiversity, and contaminates water.
The food chain is affected for all of us, but for us who also eat from the forest, forage in the forest, and eat the meat and you know, the moose and deer.
We're here to protect our future of our lands, clean our lands, and for the future of our young children, the next generation to come. If they destroy our waters, what's there going to be left for them?
This researcher is looking into how forest and aquatic life are impacted by the chemical, and she's determining what healthy water should look like through an Indigenous lens.
Governments and other Western science just do water monitoring. So how is the trees being affected by the water? How are we being affected by the water when we can't go collect water and do ceremony? And that's another objective, so to develop a water management plan through Anishinaabe water monitoring.
Under Ontario's forestry renewal system, the herbicide is used to inhibit the growth of unwanted plants. In an email to CTV News, the MNR says glyphosate has been evaluated by Health Canada, who has said it does not present unacceptable risks to human health or the environment when used as directed. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Serpent River First Nation.
Some sad news to tell you about right now. A longtime northern politician has died. Elie Martell served as the MPP for Sudbury East from 1967 to 1987 and was the NDP House Leader for 7 of those years. He sat on numerous committees in that time and was known at Queen's Park for his advocacy of safer working conditions, better compensation for workers, and higher safety standards for hockey players. Elie Martell was 90 years old. Martell's former colleagues have been remembering him today. Nickelbelt MPP Franck Jalina said in a release that Martell was a mentor, adding, "Whenever I faced a hurdle, Elie was always there to help me. I know how fortunate I was to have Elie guiding me. I will miss him." And former NDP leader Bob Ray posting his condolences on X this morning, saying Elie was a fine representative of the people of the Sudbury region at Queen's Park, a real fighter for social justice. Shifting gears now to the weather. It's very comfortable out there. With more on what we can expect this weekend, here's our very own Rick Wyman.
Wow, that's quite the introduction, Tony. Thank you so much for that as we head into the weekend, Tony. And at your request, we're getting rain this weekend. That will come tomorrow. We'll talk about that momentarily. Systems map, here it comes. As you'll see, it come up from the lower Great Lakes right through Greater Sudbury and several points of interest for tomorrow. So we'll get some rain, risk of a thunderstorm, showers. Then we get the cool down on Sunday. So we'll take a look at that and more in our 7-day forecast, as well as our pick of the day. But coming up next, Tony, I know you love them. We've got the currents with the Humidex factor just moments away. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick. A theatre group in Sudbury has big plans still to come on CTV News at 6. Yes, Theatre wants to buy the Bell Mansion. But first, let's take a live webcam look at the International Bridge linking the Twin Saults. This is traffic heading north into Canada. It's 28 degrees. We're back right after these commercial messages.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Parents in Parry Sound gathered today in front of Parry Sound District High School to address growing safety concerns for students attending the school in September. Students were supposed to be attending the Near North District School Board's new school site, but construction on that facility has not been completed yet. The problem is they've already started demolition on Parry Sound High School. Both school sites are now active construction sites with students expected to attend classes. The parents and students say they haven't received a clear understanding from the board on how this will work come September.
Today we're just trying to hype up the awareness of the Near North District School Board's plan. We're kind of questioning their contingency plan. As you can see, we're standing in front of the existing high school, which is a third of it broke down right now with demolition, and we have some questions that are still outstanding.
We band together when push comes to shove, and we are not taking a very vague media release as a satisfactory answer. So we want our questions answered. We want proof that the school is safe. We want proof that the well-being of the children are the priority, and so far we have yet to see that.
As of 2 hours ago, the Near North District School Board posted on Facebook a link to an 8-page contingency plan aimed at addressing the parents' safety concerns. The report states the fire, PA, and security camera systems remain operational at Parry Sound High School, along with other information on the structural changes to both schools. The school building project will eventually see students from JK to grade 12 on the same site. The board received $58.5 million from the Ministry of Education in June of 2023 for the project. The artistic and managing director of Yes Theatre says he's looking for partners to put in a bid to buy the Bell Mansion in Sudbury. Alessandro Costantini says the group has noticed a big hole in the community when it comes to training local artists. That's why he'd like to see the Bell Mansion turned into a place where classes can take place for artists and also used as an event space. Ultimately, he would love to see the property continue to be a place that the entire community can enjoy.
We do know that if we were be able to expand our education offerings, which currently are just like Saturday mornings really, to a full scope of classes, workshops, etc., not only could we really enrich the community, but we could increase the artists that we're training, the people who have the skill sets to do a high caliber of work, and also just give people more arts and culture in their life. So that's kind of the basis of this, and then seeing the Bell Mansion as a really wonderful, viable space became very exciting. And it's a crazy idea, but it's a really fantastic one.
Costantini says he has had a few interested partners reach out. The Bell Mansion is listed for $1 million, and offers will be accepted until August 25th. The Cochrane Food Bank is expanding its warehouse, which serves the Northeast region from Hearst to Sudbury, including Timmins. The groundbreaking took place just a few days ago, and officials are excited they will be able to help more people during a time when the need is great. They say food bank usage has reached an all-time high, and anywhere from 300 to 400 people in Cochrane are accessing the service. The expansion will double the storage space.
This means that we're going to have more access and ability to service the entire region to the benefit of all the food banks and food insecurity agencies in our area. So not only do we service food banks, but we also service the local schools, and we service a lot of different centers that deal with it. So soup kitchens, things like that. And in order to do that, we have to have access to a lot of food, and we need to have a lot of storage space. This is going to benefit us by having the excess storage space to get more donations, not only from our Feed Ontario partners in Mississauga, but locally.
Officials hope the new warehouse will be ready to open in time for Thanksgiving weekend. 50 jobs in Sudbury have been cut as Wonder Brands ends sliced bread production. The unionized employees belong to Local 175 of the United Food and Commercial Workers. The company will eliminate all part-time positions and several full-time roles at the facility. The bread line shutdown is slated for October 6th. The union is actively engaged in discussions with Wonder Brands to help members receive the support they need, including transition programs, retraining opportunities, and support services.
These workers are covered by a collective bargaining agreement, and so there is severance provisions and retirement options available to these workers because they're unionized. However, these measures are not going to completely be able to cover all of the losses that these members, their families, and the community are going to feel. So the union is actively in conversations, engaged in conversations with Wonder Brands to ensure that workers are supported.
CTV reached out to the company FGF Brands for comment, but did not receive a response in time for our broadcast. Meetings between Canada Post and the Canadian Union of Postal Workers scheduled to take place today and Monday have been postponed. Federal mediators involved in the negotiations between Canada Post and CUP-W are unable to assist with the labor dispute because of their current involvement in the Air Canada negotiations. Workers rejected Canada Post's latest proposal, which would have included a wage hike of 13% over 4 years and restructuring to add part-time workers. Negotiations for a new collective agreement have been going on for more than a year and a half now. Back now for a check on your current conditions. Here's Rick.
Okay, Tony, we've got the humidex factor for most of our conditions across northeastern Ontario, as you will see momentarily. Shaping up to be a wet day for tomorrow, risk of a thunderstorm and some showers, but cooling and sunny on Sunday. Here we go. Let's have a look. 32 degrees in Moosonee, sun and cloud. Cochrane 31, Timmins 32, and Kapuskasing 33. All sun and cloud as of this hour, but warmer with the humidex. 32 in Chapleau, 33 in Wawa, even 34 in Sault Ste. Marie with the sunshine. Meanwhile, Parry Sound, a reading of 30 this hour, down Highway 69. Meanwhile, in North Bay at 30. Temiskaming Shores 31, and Kirkland Lake also 31. Sun and cloud if you're traveling up north. Greater Sudbury Nickel Belt 32 with the humidex as well this hour. Espanola 31, Elliott Lake 31, and Gore Bay on beautiful Manitoulin Island on this Friday evening, a reading of 32 this hour. Tony, your 7-day forecast. Rain, you wanted it, you've got it tomorrow. And of course, we'll take a look at the illustrious pick of the day for this Friday evening. Back to you.
Can't wait. Thanks so much for that, Rick. With more Air Canada flights being cancelled, next on CTV News at 6. As passengers scramble to find a way home, flight attendants get set to walk off the job. And do you love to read? More great book boxes are going up in Timmins. Air Canada is winding down its operations as 10,000 flight attendants gear up to go on strike at 1 a.m. Eastern, if a deal isn't reached, of course. Nearly 300 flights have been canceled, impacting more than 55,000 people so far today. And Ottawa is calling on both sides to work with federal mediators. CTV's Kamal Karamali reports.
Room for flight attendants who say they're waiting for Air Canada to meet them at the table.
Any progress in talks?
None at all. It's been crickets.
Almost no progress made throughout the day today on a new agreement between the airline and the union representing more than 10,000 flight attendants. With little runway remaining before workers walk off the job, Air Canada told the federal government that it wants to go through binding arbitration that would bring in a neutral third party into the negotiations. The union responded today saying Air Canada's request for ministerial intervention under Section 107 should be firmly rejected.
We don't think that a third party should be coming in to save the day once again for Air Canada, swoop in and not let them negotiate.
Both sides are battling it out over wages. Air Canada has said it's offering a 38% increase in total compensation that includes wages, benefits, and pension over 4 years. But the union says when you look at just the wages, that amounts to just over 17% over 4 years. The airline says that's a fair amount.
This will make them the best paid in Canada. And that's important because they are the best flight attendants in Canada.
Flight attendants also fighting to get compensated for unpaid work that happens before takeoff and after landing. Air Canada has offered to pay 50% for that work while planes are on the ground. The union wants 100%.
What we're offering with regards to ground pay will be the best in Canada. So, we're working to, recognize the contributions of the flight attendants.
Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu's office now urging both sides to work with federal mediators to get a deal done, something that seems far from happening at this time. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
And here in the north, travel interruptions will be different, as CTV's Corey Nordstrom explains.
Unless a last-minute deal is reached, Air Canada flight attendants will go on strike tomorrow, and the company will have canceled more than 500 flights by the end of the day. However, many air travelers across the north can breathe a slight sigh of relief.
We're actually not affected. It's the mainline Air Canada and it's the Rouge for Air Canada. So our flights are unaffected. We have full flights. The problem will be is obviously if you're connecting further overseas or international or whatever.
A sentiment echoed by the airports in Timmins, Sudbury and North Bay this week. Air Canada Express services Northern Ontario and is operated by Jazz Aviation. While that means northern passengers can still access flights, it also means it limits the destinations they can reach.
So you can actually get almost the majority of the East Coast because PAL Airlines, which is their partner that does regional routes there. So you can get to Toronto and then take any of the regional carriers. So you can go obviously all these ones in Ontario, and you can go to out east as well. So I'm not sure how far west you can go.
And then there's the cost. For those who are affected by the strike, it's either put plans on hold or pay the price.
The people that might have paid $1,100 or $1,200 in February and March for airfares to Vancouver are now having to pay one couple to $3,400. They need tickets, because they don't want to miss the cruise, because that's non-refundable as well. And if they find that, can give you a refund just because your airline's on strike.
The skyrocketing prices from other airlines is one aspect of these strikes that travel agents like Maine say needs to be addressed.
It would be nice to see, let's say, a national policy in place where if there's a strike situation coming up, there are rules in place and agreements between the airlines that, okay, we'll take your passengers at or close to the original fare. We're not going to double, triple, quadruple our airfares during what's already an anxious time for a lot of people.
Boss says the stress level among all passengers has risen because of the strike, but he doesn't expect that Suites will have their travel plans changed.
There's going to be an impact, but I don't expect it to be great for Sault Ste. Marie because our passenger surveys show that we're probably about 80-85% just O&D Toronto. So the majority of our market is only going to Toronto.
Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin are together in Alaska for a high-stakes summit on the war in Ukraine. Trump has said his goal is to get Putin back to the negotiating table. CTV's Michael LeCouture is in Anchorage, Alaska, with more.
A picture may be worth 1,000 words, but those images from the tarmac here in Anchorage may have left some people speechless. It was a very warm welcome and a red carpet treatment for Russian President Vladimir Putin. Of course, it looked like a coordinated photo op of the two presidents exiting their presidential aircraft at the same time and then meeting together on the red carpet for a handshake and then walking towards the presidential limousine. And we're being told, and we're hearing, I should say, from Russian media that it was Donald Trump who offered to give Putin a lift in the presidential limousine towards the building where they were going to have those talks. Those talks are ongoing. Russian media are reporting that they could go as long as 6 hours, but the White House had not scheduled that amount of time for it. We know that the one thing that U.S. President Donald Trump wants out of these is a ceasefire. He wants to make sure that Putin agrees to that in Ukraine, and he has said if he doesn't agree to that, he won't be very happy. He's also said he'll know within the first 2 to 5 minutes whether or not those meetings will be good meetings or not. They're also supposed to be joined by a number of their advisors, Sergei Lavrov, the foreign minister on the Russian side, and of course, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. They're having that expanded bilateral meeting instead of a one-on-one. Following that, we are expecting a joint press conference between the two leaders. But Trump has said, and the White House has said, it could be that if the meeting doesn't go well, then it will be just Trump alone. He's also supposed to have a conversation with Volodymyr Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, at the conclusion of these meetings. But Trump has said if it doesn't go well, he may not make that call and he may just return to Washington. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Anchorage, Alaska.
And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Here we go with the weekend weather, Tony. Unfortunately, a sour start. Rain in the forecast. People are saying don't like rain. People telling me, like yourself, Gary McKenzie over at Tim Hortons in New Sudbury, need rain. Yes, we need rain. We're going to get it tomorrow. Have a look at our forecast radar. Take a look, and this is what we've got by about 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Sault Ste. Marie, and of course that Highway 17 corridor will be affected, including Sudbury. So it will continue into the evening as well. So again, 70% chance of showers in Greater Sudbury, about 40-50% in Sault Ste. Marie. We'll take a look at some of the conditions. And of course, some humidex readings pretty high tomorrow. Meanwhile, overnight, Greater Sudbury, 17, a few clouds. Sault Ste. Marie, chance of showers, more of the same in Timmins. And Temiskaming Shores, clear in North Bay for overnight. Moosonee, chance of showers at 70%. I like those numbers. Kapuskasing-Hearst, chance of showers, more of the same in Wawa. A few clouds, Gore Bay and Perry Sound. And now, here we go with the numbers. Sudbury Nickel Belt, humidex reading of 36, risk of a thunderstorm tomorrow. Sunshine on Sunday, 19 on the cool down Monday, cloud cover 20, 23 on Tuesday with the sunshine. In Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, humidex of 33, chance of showers, of course, risk of a thunderstorm. Sunday, we've got sunshine at 21, more of the same Monday with the temperature at 21. Cloud cover there. Tuesday, cloud cover 22 and 26 Wednesday with the sun and cloud. More sun and cloud Thursday of next week. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, humidex of 29, risk of a thunderstorm, shower activity for tomorrow. Sunday, some sun and cloud, cooling down to 18, back up to 21 Monday, Tuesday 22. Wednesday, Thursday, sun and cloud both days at 24. Pretty well normal for this time of the year. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, humidex of 34, risk of a thunderstorm for tomorrow. Sunday, we've got sun and cloud at 18 on the cool down, 20 Monday, sunshine, Tuesday, sunshine and 22. Wednesday, Thursday of next week, 25 both days, nice weather. So you have that string of what? We've got 5-6 consecutive days, sunny skies after the rain on Saturday. And now North Bay, West Nipissing. Here we go. Humidex of 37 for tomorrow. It'll be sweltering to say the least with that humidex reading, the rain. It'll be uncomfortable. pick what you want to do tomorrow, but just stay cool. Sunday, sun and cloud. Monday, sun and cloud. Tuesday, sunshine 23. Wednesday, we've got sun and cloud at 25. More of the same come Thursday. So again, your normal 23, you're hitting a couple of degrees above normal. Let's have a gander now at our pick of the day for this Friday evening. Teresa from Red Deer Lake. Yes, in my neck of the woods in beautiful Wanabate. Teresa, great shot. Sun is setting over the water. I really like that. I've been to Red Deer Lake, so I can really appreciate the photography. Thank you for that submission. Don't forget, Tony has more news coming up right after the break.
They are small, meant for sharing with friends and family, and you may have them in your neighborhood. We are talking about great book boxes. The Timmins Public Library has just rolled out another one of these, and to talk more, Mary Gardner, the chairperson of the Great Book Box Committee. She's on the left, and Carol Ann Demers, the CEO of the Timmins Public Library, now join us. Hello to both of you.
Hello to you, Tony.
Hello. So how many of these book boxes are there now in the city of Timmins?
There are 11 book boxes.
Okay, and why?
And there are some private ones also, a couple of private ones that people have on their property.
And why are these book boxes so important?
Because I belong to the book club, and it was the book club. We saw an article in the Toronto, the Globe and Mail, and this woman had put a book box on her property, and she said it promoted socialization, literacy, and other things. And so we decided that we should look into this, and we contacted Carol Ann, and she, one of the teachers who was an English teacher, she gave a donation when she died to the library, and Carol Ann graciously offered this to us. And so then the book club people put money in, other people put money in, and we got a team going, and that's how we got the first book boxes.
And how does this program work? Is that one of those take a book, leave a book? Do people do that?
Share a book. Share a book, yes.
Share a book, okay.
Pass books along to friends.
What about vandalism? Do you have any vandalism at all when it comes to these book boxes?
We had vandalism when we had boxes that were made of wood. People would rip the doors off. And then a friend of mine from my bridge club, he said we should go to Paul Woodward at the bucket shop. So we asked Paul, and he said, what do you want? And we told him, and it was as though he was doing us a favor instead of the opposite way. And he built the boxes, and they're all in the shape of a head frame. Yeah.
So some of the old boxes were replaced with the new style, which are made of
yeah, they've been upgraded. And in South
metal.
Porcupine, they built a whole new wooden box. That's what they wanted. So
Carol Ann, I got a question for you, because Mary's been doing all the talking and she's doing a fine job there. How do libraries play a role in these neighborhoods?
For us, it's all about bringing literacy to the community, which we do every day here at the library. However, not all people and children have access to, to come to the library, or we understand how parents and families can't always get here. So in the meantime, those children that have access to book box near their homes can go every day and exchange their book and get a new one until they get to come to the library, where they will get a multitude of other options.
Well, you two take care. Mary Gardner and Carol Ann Demers, thanks so much for your time.
Oh, thank you for your interest.
Thank you. Enjoy your books.
I will. Both of them joined us from Timmins. And to learn more about the Great Book Box program and so much more, head to timminspubliclibrary.ca. The Maison McCullough Hospice in Sudbury is inviting the community to the Lougheed Foundation Butterfly Release on Sunday. The annual event will take place at Science North in the Valley Cavern at 1 p.m. Pink Lady butterflies can be purchased for $40 each and will be released in memory of loved ones.
I think the symbolism of releasing a butterfly is very therapeutic for people, and it really does help with that grief process, bringing families together so they can talk about those loved ones and see nature at its best.
And Bertrand says 300 names will be read as part of the event. It was a celebration of green and white flags in Sudbury last night as the city marked Pakistan Independence Day. Dozens turned out to the James Jerome Sports Complex for flag-raising speeches and food. Many say it is a time for families to come together to honor their heritage and share their vibrant culture with the community.
We're proud as a Canadian and we live in this country and we celebrate our Independence Day, our back home Independence Day, and we enjoy this a good time for sharing thoughts, wishes, fun, food and singing. And this time is big blessing.
Now you get to see many new faces here because in the last few years we held this celebration. I never seen some of these people like compared to last time. It's good to see that.
We come together, whatever happens, even it's not even being Pakistani, it's all those communities who live in Sudbury. It's like a bouquet. You know, if you take out one flower, the bouquet is not complete. So it completes the bouquet with having lots of different communities from different parts of the world.
Due to the pandemic, the last time the day was celebrated in Sudbury was 2022. A family in North Bay has built and decorated a rock garden, which has become the talk of the neighborhood. CTV's Eric Tashner has that story.
It's worked out well.
There's lots of love at the home of Michael Etier's parents, 90-year-old Larry and 87-year-old Teresa. Michael and his partner Beth wanted to pay tribute to them.
My intention was to simply put together, the accomplishments that have happened over the period of time.
It all started when Larry started to complain about the front lawn and how the grass looked. So Michael suggested they just rip it up and lay rock and stone. For several weeks, the family spent time together, driving up and down various roads, finding large rocks. And then they began adding to it, continuing to expand it.
Well, all these little decorations are all handmade. He's been able to pick up a few odds and ends from garage sales and repainted them and redecorated them and repotted them.
Then Teresa's artistic ideas blossomed.
I do like flowers, and I thought, well, stone and flower would make a nice rock garden sort of thing. So we did come up with a theme.
The theme is love.
We take the deer in at night because you don't want to get stolen. And I forgot to put it out the other day, and somebody come up the other day and told the wife, "Where's your deer?"
It was Michael's way of spreading some joy and love in the neighborhood, while at the same time paying tribute to his parents' 66th wedding anniversary, which is coming up in a little over a month.
People have come right up to the gazebo to congratulate us.
The display has received many compliments. Some neighbors have written letters.
Over in Aberdeen, they stopped by with their dogs, and they've actually taken pictures of their own families in front of the garden itself.
The Etiers plan to continue tweaking the garden from time to time.
Or even put my parents' name in there or something of that nature.
Joking that it's quite literally a labor of love. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Good story, Eric. Good faith system still to come on CTV News at 6. The Ontario Medical Association is letting doctors bill for patients who are uninsured. Timmins City Council has agreed to rezone a parcel of land on Government Road for the purpose of a women's shelter and transitional homes. The 48-acre property, including a large two-story home, is located in the west end of the city. Fort Albany First Nation has secured funding to establish a shelter for women and children fleeing domestic violence. The property is also surrounded by forest and walking trails.
So I think they do an excellent job in terms of what they do, and I think it's a needed service in the community. I just have more of a challenge that I know it's going to be a contentious issue to some degree for the residents in that area. Maybe not for all, but for some, based on complaints. And I just am not sure our council process gives adequate time for public feedback from the time they get a chance to review a report to us approving the report 24 hours later.
The shelter will have a maximum of 8 clients and 3 employees, and a building will be constructed to contain 4 residential dwelling units to be used as transitional housing. The North Shore Health Network is extending the emergency department closure of the Richards Landing St. Matthews site. The site, which was closed today, will remain closed until Tuesday, August 19th. The health network also announced the Blind River site will be closed on Monday and Tuesday of next week. Anyone needing acute care should visit either the Thessalon site or Sioux Area Hospital. If you need emergency care, the health network says call 911. Ontario doctors, especially those in emergency departments, are in talks with the province to get funding restored for so-called good faith billing. As CTV's Pauline Chan explains, that involves patients who are eligible for OHIP but don't have a valid card.
I'm thinking about patients who are unhoused, patients with low socioeconomic status, migrant workers, and that does contribute a significant proportion of patients that we see in the emergency department every night.
Dr. Bernard Ho works at a downtown hospital and says they treat patients regardless of whether they present an OHIP card or not. But physicians can't bill for these cases. The Ontario Medical Association says these good faith patients include newborns.
If for any reason there's any kind of a delay with parents registering their newborn within a certain number of days after they're born, their OHIP number becomes ineligible or non-valid.
Those whose cards have lapsed.
This could be for some of our really vulnerable populations, those experiencing mental health issues, those who are experiencing homelessness. You do require an address to actually get your OHIP updated.
And sometimes unconscious patients without ID, like from a bad accident.
So physicians, provide healthcare in good faith. And so we're just asking for the remuneration to also pair with this.
Ontario used to have a system for good faith billing back in 1998. It was cut and brought back for a short time during the pandemic.
We are currently awaiting for the arbitrator to present their final award, and that would be hopefully sometime this fall.
Dr. Ho says good faith cases aren't counted by the ministry when determining funding for hospitals.
It affects the funding that our ERs get from the ministry, because part of the funding is tied to the volume of patients that we see.
He'd like to see these cases included.
We may get more physician hours of funding, which means that we might be able to fund 1 extra physician to staff the ER every day.
And he says that would significantly reduce wait times, a benefit to all patients. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
A business owner in Quebec is warning others after Meta cut off her access to customers. She says the move has cost her clients and years of work. CTV's Lawrence Brisson-Dubré reports.
My Instagram page was basically the storefront of my business.
Felicia Jaliquias built her brand on social media and with it, her spray tan business. So she was stunned when, in June, Meta disabled her Instagram and Facebook accounts. The reason? A violation of the company's community standards.
It's been 10 years. I've never had anything flagged whatsoever, and my content is pretty consistent.
The Laval entrepreneur's content shows before and after results, spray tan tips, and engaging marketing videos.
This or that spray tan edition.
But Meta said her pages breached rules on child and sexual exploitation, abuse, and nudity, even though there were no children pictured. After a decade in business, Jaliquias had a loyal client base.
On average of like 50, 60 clients per week.
Since losing her pages, bookings have been cut in over half. She appealed Meta's decision the same day. The company said it could take up to 48 hours to review, but less than 2 minutes later, her appeal was rejected.
How can you review 10 years of content in 1 minute? That's how I knew it was an AI maybe glitch or something.
CTV News asked Meta for comment, but got no response. Because her business accounts were linked to personal ones, those were wiped out too, including her Facebook page of nearly 20 years.
I have family members on that from abroad. I have pictures, weddings, so many memories that were just stripped away from me.
She's tried creating new accounts, emails, calls. The new pages were suspended too. Only businesses with a paid Meta verified subscription can reach human support.
That's the only way you can actually have human contact, which I find a little unfair.
Khalikias has new business pages, but says the damage is done. She's considering legal action before Meta's deadline to permanently delete her accounts on December 18th. And she warns others, when your business lives online, one click can erase it all. Laurence Brisson-Dubreuil, CTV News.
A new biopic is reportedly in the works about the life and career of singer Sinead O'Connor. Variety reports a film is in the works that will focus on the early life and career of the Irish musician. The article suggests the movie will also touch on her outspoken activism, drawing attention to painful aspects of Irish history and the legacy of the Catholic Church. There is no word on a potential release date. O'Connor died in 2023 at 56. The head of Drake's record label is pushing back on defamation claims from the Toronto rapper over Kendrick Lamar's diss track, Not Like Us.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Drake had sued Universal Music Group, saying the song includes false allegations about him and encourages vigilante violence. The label had already called the claim frivolous. Now Variety reports UMG chairman and CEO Lucian Grange has weighed in a declaration letter before a New York court. He deemed a direct involvement or denied direct involvement and suggested Drake was attempting to gain media attention or force some kind of financial concessions. The letter followed a move by Drake's lawyers seeking access to UMG's contract with Kendrick Lamar. If you follow Denzel Washington on Instagram, no you don't, David Daniel explains in tonight's Hollywood Report.
What you think? I think you gotta be a little crazy sometimes in this world to get what you want.
What highest to lowest star Denzel Washington wants is for fans to see him on the big screen, not on social media.
Denzel doesn't even have a secret Instagram account.
No, I don't have all those so-called Instagram accounts. If my name's connected to it, you've been had, you've been took, hoodwinked, bamboozled. I don't have an Instagram account.
I think we'd all be better off without those addictives in our lives.
Highest to Lowest opens in select theaters today and debuts on Apple TV Plus September 5th.
Try that again, you're dead.
Hello? Anyone out there? It's an emergency. There's been a kidnapping. Anyone?
Emma Thompson is a reluctant hero in the official trailer for Dead of Winter. She plays a grieving loner who travels to northern Minnesota, where she finds a girl being held captive by a dangerous couple. Isolated and alone, they both have to fight for survival.
What are we gonna do? We keep going. Simple as that.
Dead of Winter is in theaters September 26th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
China has filed a complaint with the World Trade Organization over Canada's steel import restrictions. Last month, Canada announced an additional 25% tariff on steel imports containing steel melted and poured in China. Today, China's Commerce Ministry labeling Canada's measures as discriminatory. China is urging Canada to take immediate action. This complaint comes after Beijing announced new temporary duties on Canadian canola and other imports. Manufacturing sales edged up in June across the country, breaking 4 months of declines, according to Stats Canada. Manufacturing sales rose 0.3% in June, bringing in $68.5 billion. Canada saw gains in petroleum and coal and record-breaking food product sales. But the transportation equipment subsector fell 5%, the lowest it's been since 2022. This as motor vehicle and parts sales dropped. Here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold down 45 cents, closing the day at $3,335 US an ounce. Silver down 2 cents to end the day at $38. Copper slipped 3 cents to $4.37, and nickel down a penny, ending the day at $6.75 US a pound. And before we go, Rick is back now for one last look at your Saturday weather.
Well, it's a wet start to the weekend, Tony, as I had been saying for the last little while. Of course, we've got the risk of thunderstorms and rain tomorrow. 29 in Greater Sudbury, Timmins 24, and Sault Ste. Marie 25. Of course, a lot warmer with the Humidex for tomorrow. Meanwhile, in North Bay, 30. 30 in Parry Sound and 28 in Temiskaming Shore. So once we get rid of the rain tomorrow and the risk of a thunderstorm, cooler weather and sunny skies come Sunday. Enjoy, Tony.
Thanks, Rick. And we leave you tonight with a northern artist, Roxanne. The up-and-coming singer-songwriter is originally from Smooth Rock Falls and will be doing a mini tour through Timmins and her hometown in October. Her new single, All Mine, was recently released, and we're happy to share it with you tonight. Good night.
Used to be scared that you'd break my heart now. There's no doubt in my mind that you're the one. My heart aches when you're miles away, but you know that our story's just begun.